Hey, super quick CYA here in post. I have not seen the leaked content. We'll see it proper when it comes out. Now back to what I was saying before.
So about 12 years ago, I get a letter in the mail from Sony. The letter states, "We have been hacked by North Korea. We apologize for any inconvenience." And that was basically the end of it. It was in response to a movie that was released called The Interview, which centered around North Korean and documentary crew going over there, and apparently North Korea was furious about it. The movie was kind of under the radar, had Seth Rogen, James Franco, and nobody really heard about it until this hack happened. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Yahoo was covering it, IGN was doing a lot of publicity on this and talk about this a lot. Even sites like CBS, The Guardian, a lot of them were talking about this hack that happened. And this movie, which did only like $12 to $18 million at the box office, picked up about $40 million in digital downloads, including myself, to see what the buzz was all about. I don't know whether North Korea was involved in that or not. I don't know. I'll never get the answer on that. But when word came down recently that the Avatar the Last Airbender movie was lifted off of a server and released to the internet, and about 15 million people have seen this mostly finished but not completely finished copy, it got me thinking a little bit. Now, Avatar Last Airbender, let me state outright, is one of my favorite series of all time. I got into it a little bit later than some people did. I did Avatar Last Airbender, and then I got into Legend of Korra right when Legend of Korra ended. So I saw the final episode of Legend of Korra, when it actually came out. Absolutely, love both series on that. I could talk for hours on this about why I think Zahir is one of the greatest villains of all time. Anyway, I got to thinking about this. Now, Avatar Last Airbender, as great as it is, and great as the Netflix series is, and as curious as the M. Night Shyamalan one was years ago, it is still kind of a niche area. It's a series that a lot of people know about, they've never seen, but they're never going to really spend a lot of time on it. I tried to get my wife for years to watch this series, and I will do it. Hasn't happened yet, but I promise it'll happen. But now, a lot of mainstream news outlets are covering this hack. Yahoo had some stuff on this. I think The Guardian had things on it, CBS, NBC, ABC, and all of these places that don't typically cover something like Avatar Last Airbender are now talking about it, and a lot of buzz has actually happened. So, I don't know personally whether this hack is legit. I don't know if it's not. It could be 1,000% legit. But what I will say, unequivocally, is that this movie is now getting a lot of buzz. And as the saying goes, any press is good press. So I'm curious, do you guys think am I completely off, seriously, am I completely off base here? Am I completely full of shit on this? Or am I just thinking about what happened, 12 years ago? Because, the Sony letter that came out, I did some nondescript BG work on the 2 Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield. So I was on their system somehow. And that movie, like I said, The Interview suddenly got all this digital download because it's like, oh shit, we got hacked by North Korea. Let's go check this thing out. It was okay. It was a mid-level movie, but again, I never heard about it until this thing happened. So I'm curious if this is generating a lot of buzz for Paramount Plus, and it's going to be driving up subscriptions and viewership. Like I said, I was going to see this anyway, because, even though it doesn't have the original cast, which, by the way, I'm mildly pissed off about that, because what a missed opportunity, to get, Mae Whitman and Dante Bosco back in, Jack, everybody else that was involved. By the way, I'm just going to throw a quick shout out there. On my Streampunk Cinema channel, one of my guys, Rob Manning, a.k.a. Buddy the Elf, has interviewed several members of the cast of Avatar Last Airbender, including, most recently, the Boulder Mick Foley, just went up the other day. So check that out if you want. Shameless plug. But, my company, I'm kind of proud of it. So, anyway. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Were you going to see this previously? Are you curious about it? Or should I take my tinfoil hat off? Honestly, I'm also kind of curious to get your opinion there. Am I barking up the wrong tree here? Am I full of shit? It's okay if you think so. I'm just curious what you guys think here, and, what your game plan is. Were you going to see it? Were you not going to see it? Did this piss you off? Did it not piss you off? Any answer I think is a good one as long as it's respectful. Anyway, I'm Scott, the almost Z-list celebrity. I appreciate the time. Thanks for always and all the support you guys have been giving me so far. Appreciate it. I got some great stories on the horizon right now. And one of the most terrifying days I have ever had on set. By the way, all of those people in this particular scene are looking directly at me. We'll talk about that in the near future. But, yeah, thanks as always for the time. I appreciate you all. You guys rock. Take care. Stay awesome.